Hi, my name is Tamara, and you are watching Things Even a Monkey Should Know. Hello, hello! Thank you so much for joining me again today. As you know, if you've watched some of my other videos, I am not a professional anything except artist, but I have learned there are a number of things around the house and out in the yard and on my cars that I can do myself, and often save myself time, money, and aggravation. So I hope you have saved those things now too. It has recently come to my attention that people are hiring other people to clean their ovens because they do not know how to clean them. So I have a very disgusting oven, and I thought that we would tackle that today. I know cleaning an oven sounds like a really silly thing to do a video on, but it can be overwhelming and you might not know how to get all the gunk off. Now obviously you can get some really corrosive chemicals to get it off, which I have previously done this, and it's actually really scary because the way that you wind up doing it, it seems like the fumes coming out of the oven might burn your face off. So I don't want to do it that way anymore. And I'm going to admit, I did let my oven get particularly gross just so that we would have something really difficult to do. That way you can see that it is possible regardless of how bad the buildup in your oven is. Okay, that being said, let's go over the things that we're going to need today. And we are still using, I guess, chemicals to a degree, but they are not chemicals that will eat your face. Yes. So we are going to need definitely some rag towels. You might want to have a few different sizes and textures because we don't know exactly what we'll be running into. You're going to need some plastic scrapers, so you can get like pan scrapers, little plastic putty knives, nothing metal because we do not want to scratch the metal in our oven. So we stick to plastic or silicone, actually not silicone, too soft, plastic or rubber basically. So, well, that one's dirty. We probably won't use that one. Anyway, I would have more than one size of scraper and maybe more than one texture. You also are going to need anything that is safe to scrub on metal with. So like a nylon bristle brush is a good idea. You can use a sponge that have the scrubby backs. You can also get those little Scotch-Brite pads that are just the scrubber by themselves. Probably are going to want to have gloves. I know I like wearing gloves for this. Going to need a bowl. You're going to need some water. We all have faucets, so I'm not going to show you the water, obviously, but you know how to get it. You're going to need some plain old vinegar. Do not get the cleaning grade vinegar. Get the regular food grade vinegar that you can get in the grocery store. Brand doesn't matter as long as it's vinegar. Going to need a little spray bottle in which to put that vinegar. You're going to need, this is actually one of the most important things, you're going to need some baking soda, and you're going to need some plain old dish soap. Again, brand doesn't matter, it's whatever you have on hand or prefer. And I think that's all that we're going to need today. If I come up with anything else, I'll add it right after this. You will also want to have an old toothbrush. So I'm not gonna lie, this is not gonna be one of those tasks that is like zip, zip, zip and we're done. This will take a few hours at the very least, depending on how bad your oven is, and mine is really bad. Because we are going to let things soak to help get the sediment off of everything, sediment buildup, whatever you wanna call it. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we are going to take the racks out. I told you it was bad. See that? This is like all, we do bacon in the oven, so it's really bad. We're gonna take out the oven racks and we're gonna put them into soak first. And if you have anything in the bottom of your oven with the idea of, hey, we can help this, we can use this to help keep things clean, well, we're gonna take it and deal with it with the racks too. So we want to bring our racks and whatever else goes into the oven that can come out into a big sink. This can be your kitchen sink. I'm fortunate to have a laundry room sink that is bigger than the kitchen sinks that might accommodate the racks better. Anyway, first we want to fill it full of hot water. And then toward the end of this filling, We want to put about 3 or 4 good big squeezes of your soap into here. We don't want to do it beforehand because then you will have bubbles overflowing everywhere. And we're also going to go ahead and dump, say, about a 1/4 cup of baking soda into this sink. And then we're going to hopefully be able to submerge our racks, which these will not get fully submerged. I am going to leave these sitting here for about an hour and a half, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to switch them the other way so that I can soak both ends. But if you can fully submerge your racks without doing this, leave them in there for an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then we will revisit them at that time. And no, I did not forget about the other stuff that we took out of the oven in addition to the racks, but I did forget to tell you, before you put this in the water, if there's any stuff that's loose in the bottom of it or that you can loosen a little bit, go ahead and just scrape it off into your trash can. See if there's anything. There's not a lot. There are a few chunks. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put this in with the racks in the sink as well. The next thing that we want to do is mix up our paste to put in our oven. So I'm just going to dump, oh, I don't know, about a cup, say, of baking soda into my bowl. And I'm going to put a bit of warm water in there. And what we're trying to do is make a baking soda paste that is, well, that is definitely not enough water, that is just sticky enough to stick on the sides of your oven. So if you're not sure about this, like how sticky it should be, try, once you have gotten your water and baking soda mixed together, try just putting a little bit, say, on the, this is still too powdery, but try putting a little bit on the side of your sink and see if it'll stick. Actually, this might be okay. It looks a little thick. So that'll stick. My sink is definitely slicker than my oven, so if it'll stick to the sink, it should stick to the oven. So here's where things really start to get interesting, right? Just baking soda in an oven? Why, yes. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my old towel down in front of the oven on the floor, just in case I make any messes or drips or whatever. And I am going to go ahead and put on my gloves, because even though this is just baking soda, it does make my hands feel weird, and I don't want my hands to feel baking soda weird for the rest of the day. You may have to stop in this process and remix your baking soda paste, like make more of it, I mean, just depending on how bad your oven is. So all that we are going to do is we're going to use our sponge. I really prefer a sponge for this. We're going to scoop up some of this paste and we're going to start spreading it throughout our oven. And you can see the paste is already turning brown, which means that it is starting to work already, which is fantastic. Now, I do not expect miracles, so we are going to let this soak. After I get this all spread on here, we're going to first try letting it soak for 20 minutes and see how that does. My hopes are not great because this oven is so built up, but you never know. Miracles could happen. And we'll come back at 20 minutes and see how it is. And until then, I'm going to speed myself up so that you don't watch what is the oven equivalent of paint drying. Now we're going to rinse all this down, get our bowl ready to be used again, and our sponge too. And we'll wait about 20 minutes and then we'll start attacking that oven. All right, so here's where things start to get interesting. We're going to start removing our baking soda. Now, it should have dried out some by now. And this is the point, and this is kind of fun. It's like a science experiment where you take your vinegar and you reconstitute your baking soda by spraying your vinegar on it. And it's gonna fizz and foam, but vinegar is also, stop licking that. Vinegar is also a powerful cleaning agent, so it will help in cleaning out your oven. So we're gonna spray down the whole thing with vinegar, and then we are gonna start wiping to see what all we can get off here. Pretty impressive so far, but the oven door actually has proven to be the most difficult thing so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it another round of baking soda and give it another 20 minutes to sit and work. While we wait on our oven door to set and give that baking soda time to work on it again, I'm gonna go ahead and look at the first half of these, which was underwater for a while, and I'm curious to see if we've made any headway on the yuck that is on them. So I'm gonna just put a little bit of baking soda on my scrubby side of my sponge here, get a little bit damp, and see, oh my goodness. Can y'all see what just happened there? This looks like it changed color. So evidently the first half of these is ready to be scrubbed. The second half of these has only been in the water for about 20 minutes, but it looks like it is actually ready to be scrubbed too. So we'll just go ahead and take care of this all right now. How exciting. So now that we have these things clean, we want to go ahead and rinse them off, get them totally clean. And then because these are wire, we want to go ahead and dry them as best we can before we go and put them back in the oven. Okay, round 2 on the oven door. Okay, only 2 more things that we are going to do to this oven. The first is that we're going to take a microfiber cloth, clean, and we're going to spray it, dampen it I guess, with vinegar And we're gonna use that to wipe out the remaining baking soda in our oven. So that you'll see that there are little, there's kind of baking soda ghosting in it right now. So this will get all of that out. You may need to have 2 of these cloths available. Just depends on how much of the baking soda ghost you have left in your oven. The second thing that we're going to do is put our shelves and our drip pan back in our sparkly clean oven. Then we want to go ahead and turn the oven on to 200 degrees and let it sit for about 20 minutes just to make sure that everything is nice and dry, since in my case I am not planning on using it tonight and I don't want anything to get rusted. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and clean up the outside too. So I'm not gonna lie, that one was not the easiest task that we've set out to do, right? Actually, the crazy thing is that oven door took way more effort than like anything else put together. The whole rest of the oven, the shelves, whatever. But it seems that glass is extremely hard to get baked junk off of. Now, why did we do this? Well, number one, I don't like using the super corrosive oven cleaning chemicals, and I'm gonna be honest, whenever I've used them, along with being really worried for my lungs and my face and my skin and whatever, my hair, I actually had to put in just as much work as I did with this. This didn't take a whole lot of elbow grease, except on the door, but I still had to put in just as much effort whenever I was using the scary chemicals. So I think it's relevant for you to know that you can use baking soda and vinegar to clean that up, because they're pretty hard workers and it's pretty cool. The other thing is that I found out people are paying anywhere from $500 to $1,000 to have someone do what I just did in 3 hours. It's really worth the effort. I mean, let's say $1,000 for 3 hours, so I just made in the area of $350 an hour. Go me! Thank you so much for joining me again today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please go ahead and do that now. Thanks to everyone who already has. Look forward to seeing you again soon, and don't forget to turn off your 200-degree oven in 20 minutes. Bye.